Rejoice, everyone. We're back with another Seki Reacts to Fate. Congratulations to anyone that guessed it based off the giant in-your-face onesie.
Look, it just happened to, like, work out. Here's the thing, too. This wouldn't have worked out, like, last year because I actually got this onesie pretty recently. It's actually Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, but, like, it's a tiger onesie.
You got him, Tiger. So, why don't you go ahead, because the Mesopotamian stuff, that's all in your wheelhouse. So why don't you go ahead and introduce us to this thing?
We figured for July we'd stay pretty much in the realm of Americas.
Yeah, we got America's hat and America's pants now.
Yeah, because...
I'm kidding.
So originally it was just supposed to be Bunyan and Jaguar Warrior because we'd get, like, an American servant and then something else from the Americas for July because America and 4th of July and stuff like that. But we ended up doing Prezi King and Bunyan and now Jaguar Warrior. And the reason why Nick Nack is passing this off to me is because I had a college professor who specialized in Mayan and sort of ancient Mesoamerican mythology, and I took an entire course on Maya, Aztec, and that sort of thing a couple, like, 2 or 3 years ago in college. And so, like, and then I watched Babylonia, right? Like, the first, like, 12 episodes.
She's actually seen Jaguar Man before.
I have seen Jaguar Man before, which is why I was like, oh, look, we were like, what hints could we put in the video in Edison and Tesla for Jaguar Warrior?
And I actually asked, hey, you got a onesie, knowing she had a onesie, and then she pulls out a tiger onesie.
Because I just happened to have the perfect one. I mean, otherwise it would have been a panda one or a unicorn one.
Okay, but it's a servant in a onesie.
Yeah, it's a servant in a onesie with the cat paw staff. But so Jaguar Warrior is based on Aztec mythology. And it's not an individual person, but it's a group of people. So Jaguar Warriors were a part of the Aztec military unit. Like, basically, they would don the coat of a jaguar, right? Which also tiger onesie for the fucking Jaguar Warrior.
We did 2 cats in a row.
And neither one of them is a fucking jaguar, even though one is the Jaguar Warrior.
Yes.
So these things were pronounced ocelotl. They use it's either evocative or plosive nahuatl, which is a letter in and of itself there. But so basically they were a bit of an elite military unit, and they would wear the pelts of jaguars when going into battle, and they wielded maquahuitls, which I mentioned at the end of the Edison and Tesla video briefly, which are perhaps one of my favorite examples of, like, ancient weaponry, because I don't think Nick Nack knows what a maquahuitl is, or a maquitl is, but it's basically, like a cricket paddle? Right? Except you cut slots into the sides, and then you take, you know how sharp obsidian is, right? Well, you take obsidian and you flint it down and sharpen it into individual little jagged blades, and then you embed it in the sides of the paddle all the way around. So you have essentially a stationary chainsaw made of obsidian that you can replace the teeth when they go dull. And it's, it's a sword by look, but it's more of a ripping and tearing weapon.
I assume that's it.
Yeah. If you were to click into the maquitl right there, it would show you a modern...
Fate fans will know that from another servant.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Ketz uses one, doesn't she? Yeah, Ketz would. But yeah, so it's a maquitl, and that's what they would have used, one of their weapons, besides an atlatl, which is a sort of throwing spear kind of thing. But basically, to become a Jaguar Warrior in Aztec culture, as far as we're aware from the Aztec historical records we have, which are rather fragmented and kept in, like, a few pretty specific records that were left after the Spanish invasion, you had to capture enemies to be sacrificed to Tezcatlipoca and other gods, right? And Tezcatlipoca is the big one that we'd be focusing on today if we talked about actual mythology and gods. Tezcatlipoca is Tezcatlipoca is associated with a lot of different things as a god, but he's associated with the night sky, winds, hurricanes, north, the earth in general, obsidian, jaguars, war, and conflict. So a lot of the Aztec gods are like the gods of a lot of different things depending on where they come from and what they do, but obviously as warriors, like, you would pray to Tezcatlipoca for, you know, conflict and war and the whole jaguar thing. But essentially they're just pretty cool elite military, like, participants. Like, you would train from a young age to be a jaguar warrior, and you have to achieve a certain amount of success in combat, in war. And one of the things to note about a lot of Mesoamerican warfare is a lot of Mesoamerican warfare was ritualistic, right? So it was very rare that city-states would just go to war with one another. They would organize war games, right? Like ritualistic combats that were set on specific days in specific areas. And you would fight, and then you would take prisoners, and the prisoners would be taken back to be sacrificed, and all sorts of other things. And it wasn't so much just all-out warfare like you find in Europe between, like, one town and another, that sort of thing. It was very ritualistic because Aztec society and a lot of the others did have kind of centralized systems of rulers, and then those rulers, like, had trade relations and diplomatic relations with other rulers, and this is all super fucking important to trade and that sort of thing because, you know, living in these kind of areas, you trade a lot with your neighbors. My dude over here doing the fucking wiggle.
The Macarena.
Right next to me.
Seki, the Macarena.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Don't you and your ADHD ass come here attacking me for this?
But as to, Jaguar Warriors also got certain special benefits. If you scroll down in this article, it talks about the fact that Jaguar Warriors were allowed to drink pulque, which was a specific type of, like, alcoholic fermented beverage that was really off limits to most commoners and people who were in training to be Jaguar Warriors. You had to be one. They were also allowed to have concubines and participate in events at the royal palace. And they would also participate in sacrificial rituals, right? Rather than just getting the victims for it, they also did that. So essentially, it was kind of like knights, right? This is like the Aztec equivalent of a knighthood in Europe, right? Like, you were a minor noble, you might be granted some land, you'd be invited to dine with higher nobles and rulers, you could be hired to protect things. Also a little bit like samurais in the Japanese feudal system. Very similar, more similar perhaps to samurais in the Japanese feudal system than knights in the European feudal system. Although all three have a lot of comparative similarities because the feudal system's fairly standard the world over where it's been used. So yeah, Jaguar Warriors, Ocelotl.
Alright, so the Jaguar Man, like the god that these are supposed to represent.
Tezcatlipoca?
Right? Yes.
Yes.
Basically, because of the way Jaguar Warriors work, he was summoned into another person in history. In this case, the Jaguar Man picked a person who carries the wildest force, truly only one who them is themselves a dangerous force of nature. Only they could be picked. So,
okay.
As you've seen the design here.
Okay, here's the thing. First of all, right? Wait, stop. Do you see what I see? They got the Jaguar spots right on the shoes, but they couldn't do it on the fucking onesie! They got Jaguar spotted shoes, but it's a fucking tiger onesie! You know what the worst part is? I can see the detail in the onesie now, right?
And there's Jaguar spots.
There are actual Jaguar spots, but they're orange on orange, yellow on yellow, and so all you see are the striping from the tiger parts of it. That bothers me so much. Also, he's wearing a green and yellow striped shirt under it. That is the cutest thing ever. Like, do you remember my reaction when I first saw Jaguar Warrior in Babylonia? Because you watched me watch it. Like, I was like, oh my god, it's so cute, I just want to hug it!
So the Jaguar Warrior's host...
I will say, I did not guess that this was Jaguar Warrior when I first saw it, till someone said it, because obviously, it looked like a fucking tiger onesie to me, and I was like, what the fuck is that supposed to be?
The Jaguar Warrior's host is... A Japanese high school teacher who teaches English.
It's a girl, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You'll remember her from Fate Stay Night. She's the one who was Shiro's adoptive parent, basically.
Okay. Whatever
she hit Shiro over the head with a newspaper.
Whatever you say, Knick-Knack. Of course I remember it.
Damn it, Seki.
Look, I don't... I remember the art style, right? Like, I could have told you that was Stay Night 2006. But I remember very little of Stay Night 2006 other than, like, the fact that he was limping from an arm wound and there was an inexcusable shower scene.
I mean, you might remember more if you didn't watch it all in one go at, like, 1 in the morning.
Don't come at my watching habits over a bad show. I did my best with what was given to me. So,
Taiga isn't just an English teacher. For one, she's the granddaughter of her local city's resident Yakuza head. Is
her name being Taiga the reason it's a tiger onesie?
Yes. That is the nickname her students gave her that she fucking hates.
Why is this just Goku-sen in Fate? Because I've shown you Goku-sen before, right? It's the math teacher who's the daughter of the local Yakuza head. And she's, like, secretly super OP but pretends not to be.
Well, she is secretly OP because she is legendarily good at kendo, half due to raw skill and the other half due to stupid good luck.
This is literally just Goku-sen. They literally... Fate just plagiarized Goku-sen to create this character. I swear to fucking God.
She would have gone to the top of the kendo world if not for the fact that she was banned from all regulation matches due to her chosen Shinai having a tiger charm that was considered in poor taste by judges everywhere.
Why?
I mean, you know as a skater how uptight judging can be.
Yeah, but if it's just a little charm on it...
To this day, the local Yakuza keeps that Shinai as a treasured sword that will not rest until it has tasted blood.
10 out of 10. I love it. I love it. I love it so much.
This is why she is worthy of being the warrior for the Jaguar Man.
10 out of 10. I love it so much. I understand the whole tiger onesie now. Makes more sense, especially because you can see the jaguar spots on it looking closer. You can't actually see that in the anime. I don't know if they really if in the anime they actually have that.
It might not be there, but that's just an anime detail thing.
Yeah, I think that might just be like the action, because it's a very fine detail in the art. So I could see not being able to see it in the anime.
Before I move back to the Jaguar Man, I wanted to go ahead and note that her luck has canonically allowed the city to avoid 3 major catastrophes that would have occurred the same time as the Grail War depicted in Fate Zero. Her character is so important to the events that the author of Fate Zero chose not to write her into the story as he couldn't do them justice.
Oh, interesting. This is literally just Goku-sen. You are telling me the plot of Goku-sen and then putting a onesie on it.
And then most importantly of all, for why she was chosen, her name sounds like
Taiga.
Tiger, which... It's close enough. It's a big cat.
Yeah. They make that reference in a couple of other animes. I see one of the 2 main characters in Toradora is named Taiga, and also Tora is tiger.
So she is a Lancer class.
Yes, I knew that from the kitty paw spear thing.
And besides these 2 forms, she does have later
forms.
So
freaking cute. You know what? I like it. It's very Yakuza. It's very I am a mob boss, fear me. Also, I like that I can see the Shinai behind her now, and it is tiger printed.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's the tiger, the stuffed tiger. I want that stuffed tiger. Where's my stuffed tigers? You grabbed the white one.
I don't know where your other one is.
There's another one. There's a bigger one. It's orange.
Buried somewhere around here.
Yeah, it's here. It's bigger and it's orange. This is Tigger. This is Tigger. I have my own.
I'm gonna close out of this. Goodbye, Taiga. See ya, Tiger.
Oh, that's fucking adorable. I love that so much. The yellow and green striped shirt underneath it reminds me of like Cheshire Cat depictions. Because a lot of people put the Cheshire Cat in like contrasting color stripes because the Cheshire Cat's been animated to be like striped several times. Yeah, and always in like pink and purple like contrasts that are like weirdly go together.
Got her battle sprites.
Oh, see that she's got a fucking what's the word for that? With the blade on top of the spear. Oh, there's a.
You're thinking of the Japanese one, the Naginata?
Yes, thank you. Whitebeard uses one in One Piece. Yeah. That's pretty fucking cool.
But otherwise, she fights with the giant cat paw.
I've seen her fight with the giant cat paw. I kind of love it. It's great.
All right, so Jaguar Man's abilities as a Lancer class servant.
Yeah, you gotta tell me about the abilities.
So, I wish I could tell you they were deep in lore based to the Jaguar Man, but no. They're called Jaguar Punch, Jaguar Kick, Jaguar Eye.
I mean, does Jaguar Kick not right now currently remind you of Lucy Kick?
Ah, that is so fresh. Damn it, Psyche. Jaguar Man is extremely fast and extremely lucky. And wields that club for dangerous offense.
Yup.
All of these skills, this is what she calls them because whenever you remember from Babylonia, and she'd like Jaguar Punch, Jaguar Kick, Jaguar.
I like the comment about the divinity down there.
Mm-hmm.
That after witnessing Ketz's divinity, claims that it's nothing more than a paper tiger in comparison.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. We are going to do Ketz eventually. We probably should have done them together, knowing that they're both from Babylonia, but I know that Ketz has quite a bit about her.
The problem, I think Ketz, like, in Fate-wise I could have justified it, but I feel like Ketz alone has enough to really be meaty.
Yeah, and I know a lot about Ketz.
We will see plenty more of Jaguar Man when we do Ketz, though.
Yeah, and I know a lot about, like, Ketz's mythological stuff, because we keep saying Ketz, because I think that's how Fate abbreviates it, like the Fate community.
The Fate community abbreviates it, but it's Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, it's Quetzalcoatl. It's got the same Nahuatl, like Tlaloc. Because Nahuatl is what we call the language of, like the language that still relates to Aztec and ancient Mayan, that's still spoken in the modern day. It's spoken by very few people in the modern day, but it is still alive, and that's where you get that like plosive, vocative tl noise. Yeah,
I will never be able to replicate that.
I learned it in linguistics with the professor. It's much easier to say when it's at the beginning of a word like Tlaloc, as opposed to the end of a name like Quetzalcoatl or Ocelotl. Yeah.
Right, and then and this will come up again in we'll go over her NPs in a minute, but if she's in her natural territory of the jungle, specifically ones that are like the ones you would find in Mesoamerica, she's capable of unleashing her NP much more frequently.
Oh, another one that's locked by area, like Vlad and...
Yeah, technically all servants are kind of locked by area, but sometimes there's a few that are just exceptionally better by area, like Vlad.
Yeah.
But, like, if you took King Arthur into Britain, you would have a significantly stronger King Arthur than King Arthur in Japan.
I was gonna say, I do make the joke every time I pull out a coup, I'm like, we wouldn't happen to be in Ireland, would we?
Yeah, coup in Ireland fucks.
Yeah.
Coup fucks everywhere, but specifically in Ireland, he fucks.
Coup can get it. It doesn't matter where coup is, coup can get it. I would love a Jaguar Warrior figure, to be honest. That would be a really cool figure to get.
I wouldn't be surprised if one exists.
I know Ketz has, like, one figure, but I've never seen one for Jaguar Warrior. I'd have to go check.
Jaguar Warrior has 2 NPs. Jaguar Deathclaw and Jaguar in the Black. We'll look at Jaguar in the Black first, because this is not one with an animation.
I saw something I'm interested in going back and looking at in a second. Jaguar in the Black, Dark Forest. Oh, that's actually pretty... Oh, so that's actually pretty cool, because So Jaguars are basically the most dangerous predator in the jungle, right? Outside of things that are openly poisonous or venomous. Because their camouflaging in the forest allows them to hide really, really well. And it's one of few places in the world where big cats like jaguars hunt from the treetops and can jump down on you from above.
And even if you're in a bright orange tiger onesie and you're still calling yourself Jaguar Warrior, you're still so much better at night.
That's entirely true. It's very true. You're still better at night.
Actually, this effect does, and you might see it here, but this effect does spread to her allies as well.
Nice. I know part of it's because jaguars have really good camouflaging. The dappled spotting of their coats really works well with the way that light comes through the kind of thick canopies in a lot of Mesoamerican forests and places like the Amazon. Like, because of the way that light comes through in such small patches, anything that's dappled has like really good camouflage, especially in the treetops. They're also incredibly silent, and they have massive climb strength. Like, fucking massive.
I think So I might be wrong on this, but I think when Jaguar Man uses this in the game, because I don't think Jaguar Man uses this in the anime, but in the game when Jaguar Man uses it, I'm pretty sure that's the joke of why she's suddenly in the mafia outfit, because that's, or her mob boss Yakuza outfit, is because that's her interpretation of Jaguar in the black.
Well, because you have black jaguars. Like, we don't call them jaguars, we call them panthers, right?
Yeah.
Like, but they are, if you look at a panther's fur, right, like really, really closely, there's actually still jaguar spot patterning done in blacks and grays. It's just very hard to see from a distance. But it works really well as dappling camouflage in the light that comes through in these dark areas. Go back a second. I think I saw something in the text that I was interested in. See, so in Central and South American mythologies, the jaguar is frequently spoken of as a spiritual existence called a nagual. That sounds familiar to me. Give me a sec to double check that against some of my old notes, but okay, so naguals in Central American mythology are spirits and guardians that have the ability, that are human but have the ability to shift into like their spirit animal or spirit animal counterpart. Yeah. So like you have the shadow and spiritual guardian. It's said that Tezcatlipoca, one of the chief gods, is also a nagual, a jaguar one, and then obviously jaguar is part of its spirit thing. I mean, that, like, despite the fact that they didn't go to a lot of trouble with, like, the whole jaguar punch, jaguar kick sort of thing, I mean, they did care enough about Tezcatlipoca and Nagual and all that sort of stuff, and, like, the actual way that jaguars hunt. Like, one of the things it said in the NP was the fearsome bite of death, right? Well, jaguars have one of the highest pound per inch bite forces. In the big cat kingdom. Like, jaguars are well known. They can bite their prey, right? Like, kill it, and then drag it up the tree with them to eat it safely in the treetops.
Yes, it's horrifying. If you
I fucking love that. I think that's the coolest thing ever. No, because it's so boring. Like, when you see, like, tigers and lions who just kill it and eat it there on the ground. It's all about the big cats that can literally kill something that weighs several hundred pounds and then pull it up a tree using their bite strength to eat it in the safety of the treetops. That's fucking amazing!
Alright, so Jaguar Deathclaw. I'm going to click here. I plan to click into the I have the YouTube animation pulled up as well, but I do want to check to see if there's an arcade animation. No, there is not. I'll go ahead and...
Okay. Oh, I was going to read that.
Oh, do you want to read? Go ahead and just ignore the animation here then. Yeah, so effectively, if her club just grows to a giant size, making it...
yeah, and she grows claws on the end of her fingertips. And she, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Let's pull up the animation here. Oh, nope, that's the wiki.
There you go.
Let her beat a couple things up a little bit.
Yes. I mean, to be fair, the fact that it kind of functions as like a club right now, like an elongated club, does remind me a bit of how like the makuito is like, could be used as a spear or a sword, but in reality it's just a blunt, tearing object. Like, if you got slashed like through the stomach with a makuito, it's more likely that like your innards would just be shredded inside of you than like cut cleanly in any sort of way.
It does what it's described as.
My depth there's no arcade of this, is there?
No, there's not. Okay. Actually, I think arcade took a different approach to that chapter.
We can't risk showing the Babylonia on screen.
Yeah, as much as I would love to put a Jaguar Warrior doing all those flips and shit she did in Babylonia.
Yeah. Oh! Cacao beans!
Cacao beans.
Cacao beans!
She's one of the servants that on Valentine's Day just gives you straight cacao beans.
Dude, that's hella fucking me. So, cacao beans were so valuable in Mayan, Aztec, and South American cultures that they were used in lieu of currency. Like, this was one of the most lucrative trades that existed. Like, Aztecs called gold the shit of the sun, and they considered it to be, like, incredibly invaluable. But if you put, like, a cacao bean down, that shit was gold. Like, that shit was worth literally gold standard, practically, for those civilizations. So that's pretty fucking cool. I see the kimono, the beach volleyball, Sunday dinner. That's weird. To pursue literary and military arts simultaneously? I'm gonna click into that one. I'm curious about it.
Oh,
that's pretty fucking cool.
Let's see what the little description here says.
Let's see. Yeah, I am the tiger! By the way, do you think this lady with the scales is more muscular than me? I love that. The travel journal is pretty cool, too. Oh, wait. Look, a hot chocolatl.
Hot
It's got the tl at the end. So that's another thing. Hot chocolate, hot chocolate comes from the cacao bean. So therefore, it does traditionally come from South and Central America. So I have had someone make me hot chocolate the way it's traditionally made, like in those cultures, like via the ancient recipes, and it is...
I imagine it's not as sweet.
It's an experience. It's actually somewhat spicy. They add a lot of spices to it. I actually buy...
I've heard of spicy hot chocolate. That has always sounded good, even if I've never had it directly.
Well, you actually have had it at my house. I buy Mexicoco. I buy hot chocolate mix with spices added a lot of the time to add to regular hot chocolate to give it just that little extra bit. It's why I like chocolate chai so much, because it's got that same like warming sort of effect. It's not just straight chocolate. It's also a little bit spicy and a little bit savory. I want to see that one.
Which one?
That one.
This one?
Yes.
So this is one of the anniversary CDs.
Okay, but I can tell you what that's a reference to. That's so what's that festival in Brazil where like the so this is really
Carnival?
Yeah, so this is Brazilian Carnival reference with the feathers coming out and the tata flowers.
Look, we can get both the words and the picture in.
Okay, so it's an anniversary thing, but that is a Carnival reference.
I think this was last year's in JP. So on the JP servers.
Yeah, that's a really cool Carnival reference. I like how they put the tata flowers on top of the onesie rather than just going the... Because they could have gone the easy way and just like put her back into like the Yakuza outfit and then done that in like Carnival style. But no. They put that shit on top of the onesie. I approve. Can you open up Hot Chocolatl before we check the Primeval Flame?
Hot Chocolatl.
Yeah.
This is probably a Ketsi, mostly. You know Ketz's design.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not that worried about this one.
Yeah. Gets a direct reference to the way hot chocolate was traditionally made. I am curious about what coca beans says, just in terms of what it says, since we're checking them. Cacao. There.
Cacao.
It's spelled, so they have it written as cocoa, but they have cacao in here. There's a reference to Montezuma. That's pretty funny. I like the reference to the enjoy the raw flavor but study up on preparation, because cacao beans do not taste like chocolate and they do not taste good. They, like it comes in like, so like that looks like a small bean, right? Do you know how big a cacao bean is?
How big?
So they're actually about this big.
Jesus, that's the size of a football.
Yeah, they're about the size of a football, and most of it is inedible and bitter. You have to split it open and pull the pods out from the middle and then process the pods.
It'll be fun in D&D when we get to the event where you get to collect cacao beans.
Okay, Primeval Flame. Now we have to look at the Max Bonsi.
First, let's appreciate the art.
Dude, that's a fucking amazing looking jaguar. That is an example of why dappling is so effective when camouflaging in environments with unstable light. You know? Like the shadows create themselves. Oh, okay. So, I recently started a poetry class, right, over the summer, and we had to put our first poem out there. And so my first poem that I did for our poetry chain was William Blake's Tiger, Tiger. Tiger, tiger, burning bright, in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare trace thy fearful symmetry? Like, what the hand dare seize the fire? And you give me this. The jaguar's death, the jaguar's fangs, the jaguar's claws, the jaguar's sudden death, terror, and unavoidable pain. The jaguar is the jungle itself. Right? Like, this is one of the most poetic card arts I've ever seen. And that's such a poetic way to describe the fact that the jaguar is the most danger you can be in, right? In a jungle. But at the same time, it's also a symbol of, you know, nature and that sort of thing. And it's like a huge part of the culture down there, you know? Also, like, jaguar's eyes shine in the darkness. Like, that's... Some people would be, like, super freaked out by seeing, by hearing about that. Like, you were like, ugh, about, like, the whole drag up the tree thing. But I think that's super fucking cool.
I mean, it's badass, but at the same time, don't catch me walking around in the jungles.
I love big cats. Like, I am absolutely
they're great.
obsessed
I
with
just don't
big
want to be
cats.
killed by a big cat.
I'd be okay with that. That's super fucking cool. No, this is a really cool card art. I love the wording, and the art is like absolutely fucking stunning.
All right, so yeah, Jaguar Warrior. Any last thoughts here?
I don't know if I have any specific thoughts about it. I mean, I think that it's really cute, right? Like, seeing it in Babylonia was a little bit like, why is a jaguar wearing a tiger onesie? But I still liked the character even back then, you know? Like, Jaguar Warrior and Kets, like, outside of, I think, Spartacus, they are my favorite servants thus far in Babylonia. And I like Spartacus because the whole strength of 300 thing.
That wasn't Spartacus.
Sorry, Leonidas.
Spartacus is very different. That'll be a bridge we cross when we burn it.
Somebody using a Malaphor in here, boys and girls. Also, we'll burn that bridge when we get to it, is the Malaphor.
I meant it. We'll burn that bridge when we cross it.
Yeah, sometimes I mix up Spartacus and Leonidas' names because I'm bad at some of those names. There are too many of them. There's too many famous people in Roman and Greek history for me to get all of them straight. But I mean Leonidas with the call of 300 and that's really fucking cool. But Jaguar Warrior is awesome, and I love cats, so I cannot wait to get to cats.
Yeah.
I feel really bad. I've made like a good third of this video about cats. I do really like Jaguar Warrior. I think this is super fucking awesome.
I mean, Jaguar Warrior basically stalks cats, so...
Yeah, they appear together.
A lot.
Yeah.
Right down to the fact that you're going to see Jaguar Warrior in another Noble Phantasm animation sometime in the
from
future.
Kets?
One of Kets' Noble Phantasms just has a straight-up Jaguar Warrior appearance in it, and it's glorious.
That's amazing. No, this was super fun.
Alright, well, I think that's all we got for today. I don't think we laced any hints for the next one. Do you have anything off the top of your head you want to throw down?
Who's the net?
By the way, we will put some hints on screen.
Yeah,
there will be hints, but we didn't put any in the video directly.
I'll add some written hints down in the lower corner like I always do. Our next servant is going to provoke a very similar reaction as the one I had to the way that Bathory is treated historically. Very, very similar. And Knick-Knack doesn't know a lot about this servant, but I am going to go fucking off.
Yeah, the next servant, you're going to see a very similar setup where it's one of those servants that Seki specializes in, so we're going to be going at it from the beginning with Seki's history lesson.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to have like a full-ass lecture for, and there will be outrage. But yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time.